America does not teach its own history. America teaches a mythology. We didn't discover this land, we dehumanized it. What we called expansion was actually ethnic cleansing. And the liberty and justice we love to tout, our own documents, our own founding documents, state those only exist for a very narrowly defined few. Our Declaration of Independence refers to natives as merciless Indian savages.
I know the history I received in school was just the basic Nina Pinta Santa Maria, Christopher Columbus, and then we learned about some of the local tribes, but it was maybe a week of learning. I think the history that MCC presents on Indigenous people is different because they're intertwining the mix of church and Indigenous history. It's also important for people of Mennonite faith, Mennonite background, to see that the Mennonite church maybe didn't directly do the harm, but has benefited and continues to benefit from the harm.
The Doctrine of Discovery essentially is this series of papal bulls that is the Catholic Church in Europe saying to the nations of Europe, wherever you go, whatever lands you find not ruled by Christian rulers, those people are less than human and the land's yours for the taking. So the foundations of our nation are all systemically racist. They all assume Native peoples and people of color are not fully human. What do we do with this? How do we acknowledge this both as a church and as Americans, and how do we move forward?
Well, Return to the Earth was a project started by Lawrence Hart, asking MCC to join in and to repatriate unidentifiable Native remains. And so Lawrence's dream was to get these remains and have Mennonites be a part of the reconciliation process by building burial boxes, and that we would put these remains back into the ground. And it says a lot about Mennonites who are willing to do this work and do these processes of reconciliation. But I think what we realize now is that we didn't really do the full education and didn't look back to the Doctrine of Discovery.
There's an Aboriginal leader, his name is George Erasmus, and he says that where common memory is lacking, where people do not share in the same past, there can be no real community. If you want to build community, you have to start by creating common memory.
I think restorative justice plays a critical role, and I would say we never had a just relationship to begin with. So what does it look like to bring that in? And I think right now it means we tell the truth about our history. It recalls knowing your own history enough, and so looking into the land you grew up on. It means looking into church history, it means looking at American history. I think just looking for that education to further your own knowledge base, instead of always looking to a Native person to reteach you.